Hello, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Andrew. I recently did a video about books that I rated too low, and I know I had a bit of an extensive list there. I want to do the opposite, basically, and I have, I think, just 7 books that I think I rated too low, and that a couple of them I've already gone back on and updated my rating. So I'm just gonna start with the one that I don't have physically because I have all the other ones physically. But the first one is gonna be A Torch Against the Night, the sequel to An Ember in the Ashes, which I gave 3 stars. And a lot of that was because of how it ended. And I was a little bit angry at the ending, and I felt like it wasn't earned, and I felt like the characters were a little different. But as I have continued to read on in many other fantasy series in the last few years, I think Saboteur's in her bag. I think I'm gonna go back and read that series. I would not be surprised if you see that series on a list for me soon, because her writing, like I said, she's in her bag. So that's the first one. Now let's talk about Nevermore, The Trials of Morgan Crow, which I gave 4 stars, and I've given every book in the series 4 stars because I don't know why. I just feel like I probably should give it 5 stars, or at least a 4.5 star, because this is what I love about fantasy. This is whimsical, magical, like being whisked away to a magical land and having a found family trope and having a hotel. I loved the audiobooks for this so much. Like, this is at least a 4.5 in my head. And like the quirky characters, like it's just so good. And I don't know, maybe I've was swayed by negative reviews, or like I try not to overhype stuff myself, but like I should just let myself enjoy things. So this one, like I said, it's at least a 4.5 for sure. Next, on the opposite side of the spectrum, we have Yes Daddy, which is a thriller that's following like a young gay guy in New York who gets involved in a romantic relationship with an older man that he idolizes. And what a thrill this was. Like, I think I read this in a day, which I never do. I mean, it is a very short book, but yes. And this was in my top 10 books I read last year, so I think that again, it's at least a 4.5. It was just so good. Next, we have The Bear and the Nightingale, which again was in my top 10 reads of last year. And again, this is at least a 4.5, because when I tell you I read this book and I left reality and I entered into this world, like, it was so incredible. It was just absolutely incredible. I love Catherine Arden's writing so much. Like, it's incredible, absolutely incredible. And I still need to continue this series. I know I need to continue this series because like I was obsessed. And it reminded me of Once Upon a Time, which I feel like is not what most people will say when they talk about this book. Like, it's just so fairy tale. It's so fairy tale in a way that I loved. And I still need to read Miss Naomi Novik. I have yet to read anything by her, and I feel like I've heard there's a similar writing style here, so fingers crossed I love it. Okay, next we have a lady that I can't talk too long about it, but specifically this book in the Mortal Instruments, the City of Ashes book, there is a scene in here that makes me want to vomit and I dislike so much, but some of the reveals at the end of this book are just so good about our main characters. Like, they're just so good, and it's trashy shit I ate up. This really should be like a 4 star. Honestly, a lot of Cassandra Clare's books, the more I read, the more I'm like, this is so my thing, and it makes so much sense why when I picked up this series, like, it hit so well for me, because it's just so my thing. And other things aren't my thing, but this is my thing. This is so my thing. Like, I don't know what to say. Like, it's just so my thing. It's just obviously, like, yeah. So again, I don't want to talk about it too long, but should have been at least a 3.5, honestly. Next, we have The Picture of Dorian Gray. I read this, I think I gave it 4 stars. There is one chapter in here that is excessively flowery written. Written. And I didn't love that, so I kind of knocked off a star for that. But like, honestly, I love this book so much. Like, I love the aesthetic, I love the style, I love quotes from this book, I love the like reflection of humanity from this book, and how you're holding up like a mirror to how, like, there's a line in this book about like I don't even know. Like, and I just saw a TikTok about this book and how it created a whole indulgent writing style that people weren't doing before. So Mr. Wilde like invented a whole new writing style. Like, this deserves 5 stars. Like, this is so good. So good. I never read this in high school, but I remember people talking about it in high school and saying how much they loved it, and like, yes. Like, I need to reread this and annotate. I have an annotated copy somewhere up there, but this is obviously, like, it's so beautiful. Okay, then finally we have Assassin's Apprentice, which I gave a 3-star, and I feel like it's like a 3.5 because I still didn't love this at the level other people do. I don't think, at least not the first book. I have continued on the series, and I'll be sharing my thoughts on that soon. But this book is so slow. It's so slow, and so is the second book, and possibly the third book. I don't know. I'm in the middle of it right now. But this, like, I don't know. I think maybe it's a 3.5, maybe a 4 in my feelings, but I can't give it more than a 3, like, objectively, because I just feel like I couldn't connect to the characters in a way. But I love the writing, the magic system, the world she's created. Like, I love her writing. I think my favorite thing from her is the writing. So I don't know. And I mean, I don't hate, like, I feel like a lot of people hate Fitz's character. Like, they can't stand being in his head, and that's not me. I do kind of find him a little bland, but I think we're getting a bit of a shift in the third book. So I'm literally, like, I have a bookmark in it. I'm reading it right now. Well, not right now as I'm filming, but, like, I've been reading it. So yeah, I just think this is maybe a 3.5. So there's that. I have a whole review for this book too. Like, I filmed it a day or 2 after I read it, when I first finished it. So please let me know if you agree with any of these, if you've read any of these, or any other book that you feel like you should have given a higher rating. I'd love to know your thoughts. So that will do it for this video. I will leave my Instagram, Goodreads, and Twitter. It will all be in the description for you to check out if you'd like. Otherwise, have a great day. Bye.